Hey guys, Eric here with another video. I'm just doing this little short video which would be under the title of WTF. My housemate and I have been talking about doing this, creating a YouTube channel just for that, on things we experience during our day-to-day, whether it's at work or out and about shopping, things like stuff that we see, things like that. Because of my channel being Eric's Viewpoint and Other Musings, I will just file this under Other Musings. So today, Sunday, normally do our shopping on Sunday. And so I went to my local Walmart, and just like I normally do, and I'm a Walmart Plus member, doing my grocery shopping. At the end of all that, then I stop in a quiet spot and scan all of my items all at one time. So, because I have my checklist on my phone, and I don't want to have to go to the hospital going from one thing to another, back and forth, back and forth. So, but there was no problem with that. So I go up, and then of course, this particular store is on Calabridge Court, here in North Carolina, up in the mountain in Charlotte, in the Mountain Island area. Never really have any problems other than the fact that this store can't seem to keep the items on the shelf. But so I'm in line, and the first thing that I notice, the scan and go aisle for Walmart Plus members is closed. It's always like that. Now, I guess it matters that this store is not renovated, because in some of the renovated Walmarts, they have incorporated scan and go with self-checkout, and there are signs pointing to the stations that are specifically for self-checkout. But if someone is using them, then you can go to another self-checkout and still scan your code. But those stations have been renovated, and so they are a little bit bigger than the normal self-checkout stations. And they have multiple bags there where you can take your time bagging your groceries, because you've already paid for them. You've only been there for like a minute or so. And then it doesn't back up the line, because the renovated stores probably have about 20 self-checkout stations on each side of the store. Sometimes, and I know it's due to staffing. I know it is. I'm not stupid. That when you go in the store, self-checkout on one end of the store is open, but self-checkout on the other end is closed. And that was the thing today. I looked down past the cashier stations where there were 3 open, and I didn't want to stand in line, because why should I stand in line if I'm using scan and go? And I saw that the other self-checkout station was closed. So this scan and go aisle was closed. There was nobody there. There were 2 Walmart workers in the self-checkout area. And again, I don't know why it takes so long for these machines to be fixed. But last week when we went there were 3 machines that were down. They seem to have gotten 2 of them fixed, but yet there was another one down. And then the person was very nice and everything, making sure that people get to the stations. As you know, in this day and age, people can just be so self-absorbed and unaware that, like me, I'm behind them. Somebody's on their phone or whatever, and I have to tell them, excuse me, a station is open. Sometimes I want to just go past them, and I did that one time. I said, wait a minute, I was ahead of you. Yeah, but you were looking at your phone, and anybody got time to wait on you? And yeah, that's asshole-ish of me to do that. But that's the point. My housemate is reading, I think the book is called How to Live a Purposeful Life. And he's in the section, because I've already read it a long time ago, and he was talking to me today about, in a section of it, it talks about people being selfish. And we were actually talking about that in the car, and that's when I was talking to him about people being so self-absorbed. Now, some of you watching this video might think that I'm being self-absorbed. And to a point, you might be right, because I was getting my groceries done. I chose to pay for Walmart Plus membership because, in part, mainly of the scan and go feature, that I can just go in there, scan my items, pay for them, scan the barcode, bag my items, and I'm gone unless I happen to bring in my own bags. But when I bring in my own bags, I still have to stop and show my receipt. And I still feel a certain kind of way about that, which I will get to in a moment. And so I used Scan and Go last week when I only had I think I may have had 17 items, bagged them up, and I'm going out. And I told the person at the door, Scan and Go. Well, most of the time, they would just wave me on. But this time, they said, I need you to click on the barcode so I can see the actual receipt. Mind you, all of my items were in Walmart bags. In Walmart bags. Now, it's true, I didn't have a paper receipt out because with Scan and Go, you don't get a paper receipt. It's a digital receipt. But usually, you only get stopped when something is not bagged. So, don't have this happen when I'm in a grocery store, in an actual grocery store like Harris Teeter, going through self-checkout, do all my stuff, and bag my own things, and then I'm on my way. Nobody stops to check me or anything like that. I don't understand the difference between Walmart self-checkout and, say, Harris Teeter self-checkout, because today, and Walmart only having one self-checkout section open, I can tell you that Harris Teeter had more self-checkout stations open than Walmart did. And it was busier, and they had one person, and she is always on it, always helpful, with any issues at the self-checkout station, just on it. And I think the difference is it's a Walmart mindset, but that's not what I'm talking about today. So I go up to the station, I scan the barcode, I'm paying for it, and then because I have two cards on my Walmart, Scan and Go, and sometimes I pay with one, sometimes I pay with the other one, or I will split them between the two cards. But today I didn't want to split them, so I changed the way that I was paying to get the full amount on this one card. It went through, and then my phone said all set, and then I look at the screen on the self-checkout, and it says help is on the way. So I was like, I didn't touch anything or ask for help. So female worker walks over, and a guy who I didn't even notice, another Walmart worker, a really, really tall guy, and both of these were older people. They didn't say anything to me. She probably would have, but he interrupted her and said, hey, can I try this out to make sure this is working? Still have not engaged me. Reaches into my cart and pulls items out and starts scanning them. So since he didn't say anything, I just said, excuse me, are you going to scan all the items in my cart? And he just looked at me like I should have known what the policy was. I said, I didn't receive any policy change about Scan and Go or self-checkout. His response to me was, this is Walmart policy. Well, that might be well and good, but shouldn't you be explaining the policy to me? Because you've upset my flow, you see that I'm frustrated, you are touching my items without saying anything, and you are assuming that I should know what the policy is. So I got my stuff. He only scanned either, if I remember, 2 items or 4 items or whatever, and said okay, and then walked away, still not explaining to me what he was doing. And then he did something on his handheld machine, and then the screen cleared, said, Eric, you're all set. So then I'm ready to go. Mind you, all my items are in Walmart bags. I stop at the door because last week, remember, I had to show my scanning the full receipt listing all my items. The door person this time, I said Scan and Go, and she just looked at my phone and she looked in the bag and she said, no, you're fine, just go ahead. So I guess it just depends on who you get. So I was just livid. And I said, and there was a Girl Scout scan outside, and I'm supporting Girl Scouts because Girl Scouts USA are standing on DEI. They're not getting rid of DEI. So I said, let me support them. Well, Sticker Shock, I go around there to get my shortbread cookies. The only time I ever get Girl Scout cookies, that's the only Girl Scout flavor I get, shortbread. and that was the original, one of the original cookies that they had way back in the day. Yes, I'm 62 years old, so you know how far back I would have to go to get the Girl Scout cookies. So I think the last time I bought Girl Scout cookies, they were $2.50 a box. Today they were $6 a box. I was like, what? $6? I said, well, let me just get one box, and then I paid for it. And thank the little Girl Scout there, just as cute as she can be, with her mom and her aunt, saying that they were my superhero today because they helped me woosah. But see, this is not just a one-off thing. This is indicative. This is indicative. I know that we are in tough economic times. I mean, if y'all been watching my videos, you know that I'll be 63 in May. I moved back to Charlotte after disaster happened to me out in Kansas City, Missouri, where I lost my job as an HR professional with Amazon, because of someone taking words and misconstruing them who weren't even involved in the conversation, and I was actually just set up. In fact, people told me that I was set up, all because I got a promotion and somebody else didn't. And so corporate HR was on the side of the person who was actually, in my mind, no other reason I can think of other than them being jealous of my trajectory. And I was leaving HR anyway to go back to operations. They were staying in HR. But anyway, had to come back to Charlotte. And it's been hella time trying to find a job. Submitting all these applications, stuff that I know that I can do in my sleep, and people still not hiring me. So if you see my name tag right here, I kind of market myself every time we go outside, so that people can see that I'm a notary. It's my company name, and that I'm commissioned by the state of North Carolina, and they can stop me and say, hey, you're a notary. Yeah, and then I can help them. So that I do that every time that I can hand out my business cards. But when we go anywhere, whether it's ordering food from a restaurant, going grocery shopping, trying to find something in a store, there's always some kind of drama about it, and then that type of drama is unnecessary. It is absolutely unnecessary. Even today, with me trying to I wanted to chat. I know me well enough to know when I'm upset, I don't need to be on the phone trying to explain what I'm complaining about. Because the person on the other side, they're not the person I'm supposed to be talking with anyway. They're just the intake of the information. I know that. I used to work in a call center way back in the day. So I know what these different levels are. I even tried to call the store directly with their phone number, and nobody picked up. I clicked the operator, nobody picked up. On the Walmart.com website, there was no phone number to you even see. You have to Google that. Why is Walmart, Amazon, and these other places? I Googled Walmart complaint and something called Just Answer, and I'm sitting here talking to a tech. They're saying that, well, I'm going to assign you to a tech, and then when the chat finished, this box come up. They're asking me to pay $5 to talk to someone whose corporate Walmart complaint intakes, and yet it's totally refundable. I'm not doing that, so I closed it out, which means I wasted 15 minutes trying to chat with someone. That's ridiculous. There should be someone, a department at the ready. All these companies saying that they are all about customer care. Well, you're all about customer care until something happens. Never have a problem getting issues resolved with Harris Teeter. Never have a problem getting issues resolved with Amazon. I've never had problems getting issues resolved with Target. But I've always had issues getting things resolved with Walmart. And the problem I have with that is being poor. I wish I could go to Aldi's all the time, but Aldi's doesn't have everything that I need. Hell, this Walmart, half the time, doesn't even have stuff on the shelf. Fortunately, today I was able to get eggs. I always buy the 18 count. I never buy the strict 12 a dozen. I always buy the 18 count. But if you're buying 18 count, at least in Walmart in Charlotte, the price of the eggs was still under $10. I think I paid $8 and some change for 18. What I'm not going to do is pay $6 for the carton of egg whites. I'm just going to order them from Costco. And I Googled it. It never occurred to me that I could freeze egg whites and not let them waste away in the refrigerator. So I'm going to do that. But anyway, I'm tangenting, what I call tangenting. Now, making a word I can't even say. But this is the world that we're in now. It's the world that we're in now. Everybody needs a job. You know, I'm living off my Social Security because I took an early retirement because I couldn't find a job. Even trying to find, I'm trying to get a physical done because of the onset that maybe my insurance might be canceled because of Doge, due to the Medicaid expansion, because my Social Security is not enough for me to get on the Affordable Care Act. And so I was referred back to my state's Medicaid and I was approved. But now I'm going through hoops trying to get a PCP change because I didn't pick this person. I drove to that building one day and it's a ghost town. It's empty. There's no doctor in there. And then I Googled the doctor they assigned to, and this nurse practitioner is over 100 miles away from me in Forest City. And yet they have her in an office here in Charlotte, North Carolina that looks like it hasn't been manned since COVID. And I've made 4 phone calls trying to get this PCP changed, and yet they're not helping me. Then come to find out that the website where all my benefits are listed doesn't even have the right information, so I had to call customer care on the vision side for them to give me 3 options who are in network for me to at least get an eye test, which I was able to do. It's actually going to be easier for me to find a dentist that accepts Medicaid than it is for me to actually get the medical side of it so I can get a physical done. And you can hear the exasperation in my voice. And I'm keeping a watch on the time. I'm almost at 17 minutes now. But if you've experienced this, maybe we can create some type of conversation about this that can change this. It's ridiculous. Like I was saying before, if you're in a job that you absolutely hate, and I know there are a lot of people that are in there, please get out. Please just get out. Get out. Because it's not helping you, and it's not helping the people that are coming into that store. It's not. I mean, even something as simple as my housemate was ordering food for dinner tonight for himself, and we got home, and he went to a Chinese food restaurant, and there was no sauce in there. And maybe the assumption was that maybe he should have asked, but he said before he didn't have to ask; they always dropped him in there. So people are, it's food costs, so they have to keep track of food costs, just like Starbucks. I went to get a coffee frap today, and I noticed in the news, the new CEO of Starbucks is reversing some policies, where the sweeteners, the creamer, the sticks, and all the straw, all that are going to be put back out, just as a simple customer care service kind of thing. Well, it's slow to go across the country because the Starbucks here in Charlotte, they're not doing that yet, and that would actually have less contact with the person that's making my drink, because once I tell you what I want and how I want it done, that should be the end of our conversation, unless I'm in the mood to chat. But anyway, I just had to get that off my chest so that I would not be thinking about that, because I was finally able to talk to someone, and he took this information in there, said that somebody will get back to me in 3 to 5 days. You don't have to talk to me. Send me an email, or just fix the policy information. If you have a policy, then implement it and make sure your customers are educated on the policy. But if you're not going to do that and you just have a policy, if you want to stop people like me from calling and complaining all the time, it's very simple. Just remove the policy. We talk about that for things at work. If you have these policies and this person over here has to pass the policy, but this person over here doesn't have to follow the policy, something is wrong. That's all I'm saying. Something is wrong. And truthfully, this is not rocket science. We're not trying to solve the riddle of the purpose of life. We're not trying to solve that. All we're trying to do is say, while you're in your job, just do your job and be the best you can at that job until such time as you find another job. Because trust and believe me, I'm going to be the best notary here in North Carolina. I am, because there's nobody else like me. Once I put my foot in something, I am all in. And trust and believe me, everybody's going to come to me for their notary work. At least I hope that's how that's going to be set up. But I'm just giving that example. Just be wholehearted in your position. And then if you can't figure out how to make it that way, that's the universe telling you, you need to start thinking about moving on. And you may have to learn how to pivot, like I've had to learn how to pivot over these years, and that's how I came to create my own company. And it's hard work. It is. It's hard work. Particularly trying to put yourself out there and marketing when you don't really have all the things necessary to market you. And one of the biggest things that stops you from that is fearful. And the public is very finicky because you don't know who you're going to walk into, but you need to learn how to read people. Or just simple, using me as an example, all that worker had to do when they were assisting that, I would say, hey, how you doing? The reason, I don't know why it's triggered, but we're going to fix that. If you're not aware, this is what we're doing. And I wouldn't have even had to waste my time trying to find a Walmart phone number or chatting with someone online, wasting my time chatting with something that couldn't help me, or even doing this video. I still would have bought those Girl Scout cookies though. But anyway, that was my time. That 5-minute span almost upended my whole afternoon. But anyway, if you've had some experiences like that, put them in the comments. Please like, and then share also. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe. It'll help the channel grow. But particularly if you like, that helps the algorithm put me out there. But until I do another video, which is usually right now for Black History Moments, sometimes I talk about the notary work, retirement issues, or just musings like I did today. And I do have some political content videos that I do from time to time, starting out with the weekend review. It was 59 minutes long, so I was going to try to break it and do the half weekend review and then the second half week review. That didn't work out this week, but I might just do it in 2 parts or just pick the highlighted ones and do another video. But that's what my channel is all about. But I'm over 20 minutes now, so I'm going to stop this video. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and I hope you have a great week.